that are falling from the middle class into poverty.
99ers receiving an unprecedented 99 weeks of jobless benefits.
A job is a right. Fight, fight, fight.
But 20 straight months of job gains have many wondering, when do you cut the cord?
What do we want? Jobs, and when do we want it? Now!
With no easy answers for the long-term unemployed, what can and what should government do?
Sometimes it means making sure that there's a safety net.
By the end of the summer, the gaps in that safety net are going to be a whole lot wider. More than 100,000 Americans across 6 states are set to lose the extended unemployment benefits they've been receiving from the federal government. Those are the states in yellow: Rhode Island, Idaho, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, West Virginia, and also Washington, D.C. As state unemployment rates improve, the kinds of federal extensions that led to 99 weeks of support are being phased out. Stephen Moore is an editorial writer with the Wall Street Journal. Stephen, the benefits may be disappearing, but the problem that led to these extraordinary emergency measures are not going away. 5 million Americans remain out of work for 6 months or longer. Are we cutting the cord too soon, considering how weak this economic recovery has been?
Well, I certainly agree with you, Christine, that this has been a weak jobs recovery, one of the weakest we've had. And that's the core of the problem, isn't it? That there just aren't enough private sector jobs out there that are being created. But, you know, I've never been a fan of extending unemployment benefits beyond 6 months or a year. I think 2 years of benefits is just too much, and I'll tell you why, Christine. I just think that one of the worst things you can do for someone who loses their job, and there's nothing more tragic, you know, than someone in their 30s or 40s or 50s losing their lifeline, their job. But the problem is we have incentivized, and the data is pretty clear on this. We do incentivize people to stay unemployed, to continue to collect those benefits. And what happens is that people start looking for jobs very vigorously once the benefits run out. And that's I think the problem I have with the many extensions that we've made. I think we've had like 10 extensions of unemployment insurance.
Let's bring in former New York Times columnist Bob Herbert. He's a senior fellow at Demos, and I'm pretty sure he's going to disagree with you. You know, Bob, the simple argument would be if you want to lower unemployment, you need to stop paying people not to work. Are we focused here on the wrong goal?
Yeah, we are focused on the wrong goal. In the first place, I think that the reason for unemployment benefits to start with should be to provide assistance to people who are really hurting, individuals and families.
But it's going all the way to 99 weeks.
Well, that's why we've extended it, because, as Stephen said, the economy has been in such dire shape for so long. He and I have looked at the same data, and I think he'll agree that while there is some evidence that extended unemployment insurance keeps some people from looking for work, it's a relatively small percentage, and I don't think that all the people who are helped by extended benefits should be punished because of this small percentage that maybe are abusing the system.
And I want to ask you, Stephen, I want to bring this up quickly because the economist Mark Zandi, who's a frequent guest on this show, he estimates that every dollar you spend on unemployment benefits is $1.61 that goes into the economy. So there's some now, even people who've been opposed to really long extensions, who are a little worried about taking away what amounts to a stealth stimulus at a time when the economy isn't really that robust. What do you say to that?
Christine, please tell me you don't actually believe that unemployment benefits...
My dear, I'm the devil's advocate here. It's my job to get you two to go at it, not anything else.
You can make the case that for humanitarian reasons we should provide a safety net for people, and that's an argument we can have. But you cannot make a rational case that paying people money to not work is somehow stimulating people to work. It just... It's the opposite of what happens. I mean, what you're doing when you're extending unemployment insurance is you're taking money from people who are working, and you're giving it to people who aren't working.
You're borrowing money from elsewhere to take money to give to people. So, I mean, you could even take that a step further. Bob, I want you to jump in on this.
There is a stimulus effect to the economy. I don't think that it is a huge effect, but just putting that money into circulation is helpful. But what's important to keep in mind here is that there are not enough jobs available for all the people who want and need to work. I mean, we need to keep that in mind. If it was a case of we had all these jobs and then we had all these people sitting at home watching television or, you know, playing with their gadgets instead of going out and looking for work, that would be one thing, but that is not the situation.
Well,
but you know what, Bob? You know, I talk to employers a lot, and they would disagree with you on that. I mean, there is a demand. They can't
hire workers. They say that they have shortages of labor.
If you fill all of those jobs, if you fill all of those jobs that the employers say that they can't find workers workers for, you would
Those are
still
skilled
have
jobs.
an enormous number of Americans out of work, even if you filled all those jobs.
Yeah, but
Let's come back. You know what? Let's come back and we'll
Okay.
talk about the skilled labor shortage next week, and you guys can hash that out next week on the skilled,
You got a deal.
on the skilled labor shortage, because that's another very good angle of the
But
story.
nobody helps their skills, Bob, if they're not working at all. That's my point.
But you don't
The
have
worst
your
thing you
skills
can
if
do
you're
for
taking
skills.
a job as a janitor. I mean, what skills are you improving?
I think anything you do is better than sitting on your butt and watching TV, even if it's CNN.
And I don't know. I think we all agree that most Americans don't want to accept that their only income is going to be a jobless check for the rest of their lives.
hope you're right.
I mean, I think that that is not really the case. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Bob,
Okay.
Herbert, Stephen Moore. Nice to see both of you. Have a wonderful
Okay.
weekend,
You
gentlemen.
too.
Thanks.